your projector inwards instead of outside, right? You turn it inwards and just let the projector look inside ourselves instead of the outside world. Okay, and with that, let's start relaxing our body. Let's start with our feet. If you can't quite feel your feet, sometimes we do, you can wriggle your feet a little bit, your toes, wriggle your toes a little bit, and you could feel your feet, right? This is so that we can connect to the feet. And once we connect to the feet, relax it. Okay, you sense for anything that is maybe have any tension. If there is, just let it go and then relax. Now we move our attention from the feet to the lower part of our legs. So there's our shin, our calf. So imagine you have a scanner that scans through the whole lower part of your leg. If there's any tightness or any discomfort, maybe not. Anyway, just let go if there's any and relax the lower part of your leg. Now very slowly and gently move your attention up to the upper part of the leg. That's our thighs. We have very big muscles here, and it can get very tense, especially if we walk a lot. So how does your thigh feel today? Is it good? Any stiffness? Right? If there is, just let it go. Move your attention very slowly from there to the tummy. How's your tummy today? How does it feel? And as you sense your tummy, just relax and let go. Now, if our tummy is relaxed, it tends to bulge up a little bit, right? So when we stand, we tend to stand very straight and then tuck in our tummy. So at this point in time, just allow it to tuck out, relax, and let it bulge out a little, and really relax the tummy. Ready, move your attention very slowly and very gently to the lower back. Those of us who sits in the office or have to work on the computer, we tend to have stiff lower back or achy lower back. So just feel your lower back today. How does it feel? Is there any aching sensation, discomfort, any tension? If there is, just allow those to just leave your body. Now move our attention up to the middle back and upper back. And that's where our spine is. So use the scanner, just scan through the whole spine. Look for any muscles that could be a bit tight, uncomfortable. Take this opportunity to let all this tension leave our body. And now move your attention to the chest area. Now we have an important organ on our chest, that's our heart. Right? And a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions generates from here, or it sits here. So every time when we are maybe sad or upset or maybe unhappy with something, irritated, all these emotions gets generated and sometimes it hides here. So our chest area take on a lot of these emotions. So take this opportunity and just let go and allow these emotions to leave us. Just let all them go. Now slowly move your attention to the shoulders. The shoulders tends to be one of the area in our body that get tense up very easily. As we go through, our everyday life, there's a lot of responsibilities, deadlines, pressure at work, stress, and anytime this happens, our shoulders gets tense up. So just feel your shoulders today. Are they relaxed? Are they tense? Is there any knots, uncomfortable feelings on your shoulders? If there is, just allow it to, again, very gently and slowly leave your body. Now move attention to your neck. There's muscles there. Feel for any tightness, or just simply relax the muscles around your neck. Now move your attention up to our face, starting from the lips area. Are you biting your teeth? Is the lips relaxed? Maybe try to just put a smile that would help to not only relax the lips and other parts of your face as well. And then very slowly move to the cheekbones area, or the facial muscles. Relax. And again, move up slowly your eyes. Feel the eyelids, the sockets of the eyes, and relax. Now move your attention to the middle of the eyebrows, the middle part of the eyebrows, between the eyebrows. Now this is one area that we have a very strong tendency to tense up. So you see a lot of people frowning, right? So feel it for yourself now. Are you frowning? Or both your eyebrows are relaxed, so this part of your face relax, your forehead. This part of the forehead and the face, if we are not careful and we tense it up too much, tends to give us headache. Right? So important to relax it. Then now move attention to the top of the head, the crown of the head. And relax the whole head. Just relax. By now, we should feel at least a little bit more relaxed versus when we first started. So just feel this relaxation, sense it, be with it, enjoy it. There's always a tendency that thoughts will come. If there is any thoughts that comes, acknowledge it, but don't engage with it. Just allow it to leave and say, not now. Okay, let it leave. And then go back to the sense of relaxation. So we're just going to enjoy this relaxation for the next 1 to 2 minutes. Now let's get ready to come out of this relaxation. But before we do that, I'd like to invite you to take 3 deep breaths before we come out. So as you breathe in, when you do your deep breath, when you breathe in, just gently imagine that your spine get lengthened. And when you breathe out, drop the shoulders, okay? Let's do the first deep breath. Breathe in, lengthen the spine, gently, not too hard, gently. And you breathe out, drop the shoulders. Let's do it a second time. Breathe in, take your own time. Lengthen the spine and breathe out, drop the shoulders. And one last time, breathe in, lengthen the spine and drop the shoulders. Okay, when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Okay, so brothers and sisters, just now was a very short relaxation. Okay, it's very important to keep ourselves relaxed. Every time we say relaxation, it seems so easy, right? Relaxation is very easy, right? But the problem is, I think, given the fast pace of our life, we're so used to getting things done, right? In a certain pace, and so much so that we tense our body without us knowing it. Okay, so I think this relaxation, giving ourselves a chance to relax our body is important. We should do it, if possible, every day. It is almost like, if you may, like a prelude to our meditation, right? We can't meditate if we are tense. We need to relax first, okay? And every time when we relax, we realize that actually how tense our body is. So we have to do it frequently to try to keep our body soft and gentle. Okay? All right. So let's start our discussion today. Okay? When I was contacted by BF to do a sharing, I thought of maybe doing something that is relevant to all of us as lay people. All right, so I chose this, the discussion topic, Everyday Bodhi with Fourfold Effort. Okay, so we don't have any Sangha members here today. So we're just going to focus on, as lay people, how do we practice and what are some of the struggles that we have, so this topic stems from struggles of myself as a practicing lay person. Some of my friends, their struggles as lay people, and I thought, this would form a very good discussion for us today, all right? So this sharing will focus on actually some suggestions on how we can weave some of the practices into our everyday life, okay? And hopefully this could help you apply the Dhamma. So let's look at our external environment today. Our environment today is fast-paced, complex. Would you agree? Yeah. A few days ago, I brought my mother to Gardens by the Bay for a walk, right? And then halfway through, her broker called her and said, hey, you did a transaction, but there's not enough money in your bank account for us to do the deduction. And then she panicked. She said, oh, shall we leave now? Can we go to the bank now? I said, oh, chill, Mom. It's okay. Let's sit down, So we sat down on the bench because I have a shared account with her. So I started, pull out my phone, go into my banking apps, and then did some transfer. And within 5 minutes, the problem is solved, right? And my mom is like, that's it. We don't have to go to the bank, right? So it's a bit unthinkable for her. I mean, she's 85. Right? It's a bit unthinkable for her how this actually can be done, right? So, the advantage is it's fast, it's convenient for all of us, but at the same time, it's also very complex. Yeah? And nowadays, with big data, with AI, well, the good news is it's going to get even more complex. Especially for those who are, in the workplace, still in the workplace, working, it's going to be a big impact. I think AI is going to bring a storm, right? It's going to bring a lot of changes that is almost unthinkable for us. And so that's one aspect of our daily life now. The other aspect, we have a lot of attraction around us that will bring our attention to them. Yeah, it's very enticing, very alluring. All right. I think it was a week or two before the Michelin came out with the new list and talk about what are the new additions to the list and all that. So once this news is out, one of the chat group that I'm in, got very active. The whole afternoon, everybody's, talking about which one they have visited before, which one is nice, which one is, overrated. And, the whole afternoon, there's just a lot of messages on my WhatsApp, just talking about it. Yeah, everybody got very excited. And I'm like, hey, you guys don't have to work. Right? So, one Michelin list gets us really excited, yeah? And then on a daily basis, we watch Netflix. I think some of us do, right? A lot of entertainment. Some of us may still remember in days when we take an aeroplane, all we have is one big screen in front, they put it down, and then they just screen whatever show that they have chosen. Okay, and then we have no choice, we just watch. Right? But today, at home or the plane, you have many, many options. We have many, many options, yeah? Then, of course, there's this part on traveling. After COVID, it's the revenge, right? Everybody is traveling. So that brings a lot of, let us put a lot of energy into it. I have a friend, actually, interestingly, he's like a digital nomad. And I sort of checked with him why he does that. He said, I just want to, even if I work, I want to work in very different environment, It's so exciting, I think we just need a lot of stimulus in modern days. Yeah? So not to mention shopping. Yeah? You don't even have to step out of the house. Yeah, a lot of shopping just done online. And of course, our dear friend, the phone. It just calls out for our attention all the time. So these are very enticing. It's very attractive. And as a result, we can easily get distracted. Very easily. Would you agree? Yeah. And most of us look like that. Distracted, our state of mind is just being pulled into different tracks. We have a lot of processing and thinking, And we don't feel it, actually, in our day-to-day life. But I'm sure you will experience it the moment you close your eyes to try to meditate. Yeah, our mind just doesn't stop. It just keep overthinking, processing. And I know some of us are very good practitioner. We try to, not get caught into too much entertainment, too much Michelin-style restaurants, yeah. But still, there's a lot of demand in our everyday life, right? A lot of things that we need to attend to, work, family, that calls, for our attention. So our mind is usually very entangled. It's not very clear, right? It's very scattered everywhere, yeah. And even if we have practices to help us recollect our mind, like what we did just now, even just a short relaxation, we are trying to collect our mind. Yeah? But this would only form moments of it. Right? How many of us here meditate every day? You know, some of us, I'm sure. Yeah, some of us. Some may be too humble to put out a hand. Okay. Now, let's just say we meditate 20 minutes a day, or maybe 30 minutes, or even an hour, right? It's only a very small fraction of our time. There's still another 23 hours of our day that, you know, we find it very hard to recollect our mind, okay? Unfortunately, the external environment can't be changed. Okay, AI is going to happen. There's going to be more Michelin-style restaurants. There's going to be more entertainment coming our way. That can't be changed. But what can be changed is within ourselves. We can actually turn inward to help ourselves build the strength for the spiritual growth. Okay, so let's see what we can do, you know, a bit more today in our discussion. So let's start with the end in mind. And this end is literally the end, literally. Okay, so we always say, you know, all of us will end up kicking the bucket, right? Yes? I don't suppose anyone can disagree with that. Huh? And before we kick the bucket, we always have a bucket list. Right? It means what we want to do before we pass away, before we leave this life. Do you discuss this bucket list with friends? No, okay. Among friends, sometimes we talk about it, right? And when we ask our friends, hey, what are your bucket lists? What's on your bucket list? It's often what? Travel, yes. One of my friends just went to Morocco, and then on the chat group, he says, yeah, one thing tick off from my bucket list. Yeah, right? It's often which country you want to go. Maybe you want to go and see the Northern Lights, you know. Those are things that is common items on bucket lists. Yeah, and then there are some not so common items, like maybe, you know, we may have a certain relationship struggle, and we hope before the end of our life we could mend that, maybe with our siblings, maybe with some friends, you know. So relationship, yeah, that, you know, some people put it on the bucket list. Then there's one item, something that's related to spiritual progress. Before I die, I want to attain the first jhana. Anyone put this on the bucket list? It doesn't need to be so specific, all right? But I hope all of us can start considering, you know, putting on our bucket list an item related to spiritual progress. Okay? When I talk to my friends, when they ask me what's on your bucket list, I usually will tell them I only have one thing on my bucket list. Okay? And that one thing is I hope that I develop my spiritual aspect of my life to the maximum of my capacity and my conditioning. It's a bit vague. I may work on, you know, making it more specific, but at least for now, that's what my bucket list is. And there's only one item. It's not that I do not want to travel. I mean, there are some places that I wish to go. But if I don't go and I die before that, would I have regrets? Not so much, not so much. Okay, yeah. But I think if I do not try my best and make spiritual progress in this life, I will have regrets when I'm on my dying bed. Okay, I know it's a Sunday morning, it's raining. I don't want to, you know, make you feel so down, but do consider. Now, it's important to keep that in mind, all right, because whatever is on our bucket list, it means it is very important to us, meaning that we want to work on it. Okay? And, you know, having a goal will always give us certain direction in life, right? So do consider it. I'd like to, you know, ask you to consider it carefully. Now, since we are going to embark on a spiritual progress journey, and I'm assuming you would seriously consider to put that on your bucket list, all right? Let's see how, you know, we can do that as lay people. And most of us are familiar with the Eightfold Path, right? It's a path to enlightenment, it's a path to Bodhi, okay? And I believe I do not need to go through each of these items, right? The Eightfold Path, any one of you here have not heard of the Eightfold Path? Yeah, I'm sure we all have, right? And the Eightfold Path provides a very complete, very thorough, very comprehensive framework for us to practice. Okay? Interestingly, I was actually doing another workshop with another Buddhist organization, and then discussing with some committee members on, you know, the details of the workshop. And then there's this lady who suddenly asked, actually, why are we doing the Eightfold Path? It's so easy, so basic. Yeah. Very interesting remark, because it sets me thinking, right? Every time we talk about Eightfold Path, yeah, I know lah, the 8 factors, yeah? And then we can even, you know, list the 8 factors off our fingertips, right? And because I think it is so important aspect of Buddhism, it's very often touched on and explained, right, by Buddhist teachers. So much so that we know it so well, we know the terms, we can even like give definition to each of these factors. Unfortunately, I think sometimes when we do that, we could get a bit too conceited, right? Because we think we know. All right? If we set the exam for Eightfold Path, wow, I'm very sure everybody here can score 100%. Clear definition of Eightfold Path. However, you know, let's remember that the Eightfold Path is not a theory. Even if we score 100% on the theory exam, the Eightfold Path is about practice. And if all of us, you know, if we attempt to seriously practice the Eightfold Path, actually we find that, you know, it's not easy. When we start to really practice, investigate what the Eightfold Path means to us in our life, our behavior, our state of mind, you know, we try to internalize these factors, we will find that it is not easy. All right? And it can't be that easy, right? Because the Eightfold Path leads to enlightenment. I mean, if it is so basic, so easy, so to speak, you know, that all of us would have, you know, easily got into enlightenment, right? So the point that I really want to bring across here is, you know, try to think about it. I mean, go beyond the intellectual understanding of the Eightfold Path. Because it is a path, meaning that we have to walk it, we have to practice it. Okay? So I'm not going to talk too much about the Eightfold Path today, but briefly, let's just go through, because I'm going to talk a bit more about right efforts, which is one factors of the Eightfold Path. So we start the Eightfold Path with right understanding or right view, as most of us know it. Generally speaking, you know, I would like to point out it gives us the perspective, right? So we have to have the right view of what our life is in order for us to be motivated to practice. So for example, you know, one important right view is karma. All right, whatever action we take, it has an impact. If we don't believe it, then, you know, there's no reason why we should practice. So the perspective sets, like it is like a forerunner of the Eightfold Path. It sets a very important tone for us. Okay, and with the right perspective, the right view, then we come into right thought, right intent. Okay, which then gives us a sense of direction. Okay, in our life. And right speech, right action, right livelihood, basically these three factors will help us in living a life that is harmless, right? We don't bring harm to people around us. We don't bring harm to the environment, for example, all right? Help us live in a harmless way. Now, one point that is often misunderstood here is, although these three factors comes under ethics, all right? It's not ethics for ethics' sake, right? Of course, living an ethical and moral life is important, but what is more important is when we live a harmless life, it sets and it gives us, the mental purification to prepare us for deeper spiritual development, right? So if we are upset every day, there's no way we can calm our mind, for example, okay? Now, when I get upset with my husband, I would sometimes pull a long face. Yeah? Sometimes for 5 minutes, sometimes for 2 hours, right? And there was once we talked about it, and he says, I think you shouldn't do that because it's, ill will is a hindrance in meditation, right? Then it almost set off an alarm in me, It's like, oh, no, I better stop doing that, because it affects my practice and meditation. I don't know whether it's a tactic that he used. You can try on your partner, but it does affect me, and now I very, very seldom I will pull long face on him. Okay, and then the three other factors, the last three factors, right efforts, right mindfulness, and right concentration, or right samadhi, right stillness, is about practicing the stilling of the mind. We allow the mind to settle and become quiet and peaceful. Okay, so this is the Eightfold Path, and I want to actually talk a bit more about right effort today. Okay, but before I do that, maybe let me share an analogy that I read in Bhikkhu Bodhi's book on Eightfold Path. And I thought that's a very good analogy I really want to share with you. And this analogy is about the last three factors, the right effort, right mindfulness, and right stillness, or right samadhi. Okay, so analogy is there are three boys, okay, three little boys who went to the park, okay, and they saw a very nice flowers on the trees. And the boys thought, hey, it's nice to actually take some of this, or pluck some of these flowers, right? But they're all too short to reach the flowers. So these three boys, Sam, Mike, and Ellie. So Sam is actually the tallest boy. He said, hey, let me try, but he still cannot reach. So Ellie says, okay, what about this? I will become your support. I'll bend down, you stand on my shoulders, and try to reach the flowers. So Sam did that. However, he's unstable. He wobbles, okay? And then Mike said, hey, hold my hand. I'll be the person who help you to stabilize, all right? Hold my hand to stabilize, okay? All right? And this analogy is the analogy to show how right effort, right mindfulness, and right samadhi works together. So right effort provides that support, the energy, okay, to still the mind. Right mindfulness is that steadying point to stabilize us. All right? So that right samadhi, with the energy and with the stabilization could unify the mind. I thought this is a very nice analogy to help us understand. And today we're going to talk a little bit more about right effort. I'm going a little bit faster because I think we have a bit of a time constraint here. Okay. So every time we talk about right effort, I'm sure all of you have seen this before, right? Fourfold right effort. Yes? Sounds familiar at least? Yeah? Okay. And a very quick revision. The Fourfold right effort is basically about, it relates to how we pay attention to our action, our speech, and our thoughts, or our mental state. Okay? So if our action, speech, or thoughts, mental states, if there's anything that is unwholesome, okay, and is not arisen yet, not unrisen, then we should try to prevent it. Yeah? Anything that is already arisen, then we should try to abandon it. On the other hand, wholesome states of mind, wholesome speech, or wholesome action, all right? If it's not arisen, that means it has not happened yet, then we try to cultivate it. If it has already happened, then we keep it up. All right? And with this, actually, it comes with an acronym, PACK, P-A-C-K. Okay, so I must give credit to Dr. 𝐒𝐤𝐬, okay? Because I attended one of her talks, and then she actually shared with us this acronym, and I thought, oh, it's very good. It's very easy to remember. We love acronyms, don't we? With all our PI and our CTE and our, yeah. Okay, so it makes it easier to remember. So with this fourfold right effort, we're going to talk about how we can use this in our daily life. Okay, we use this, actually the PACK or, the fourfold right effort, we can apply it in our meditation. And I'm sure most of us do that, okay? But it can also help us in our daily life, okay? So first one, prevent. How do we prevent unwholesome action, speech, or state of mind in our daily life? We try to keep away from things or situations, location, places that may trigger it, right? I'm going to say something that is very costly. Let's say a nightlife. I'm sure most of us do not go there unless there's some, business reasons, work reason. Yeah? Because the nightlife environment is very conducive for unwholesome action, thoughts, and speech. Yeah, very conducive, okay? So we will try to prevent that. All right, so prevent. Another example, if we are trying to eat healthily, okay? Do we stock potato chips in our kitchen cabinet? We don't, right? So sometimes you go to grocery shopping, wow, potato chips on sale, very attractive. Never mind, I buy, I won't eat. I make sure I get into shape, then I start eating a little bit. Does it work? No, it doesn't. So if you're trying to keep a healthy lifestyle, then probably one of the important things is just don't buy. Don't keep it in your kitchen. Make it inaccessible. Yeah, so similar concept, prevent, right? So don't put ourselves into a location or a place that could trigger unwholesome thoughts. Sometimes it could be not just a location, it could be a situation. All right, when we get to a meeting with someone we know, this morning we are going to go into a meeting with a very notorious person in the office, all right? He's very capable of triggering a lot of ill emotions in us, okay? We can try to prevent that from coming up by, mentally prepare ourselves, okay? All right, that could help. Okay, so location or situation. And by doing that, when we try to prevent, we're actually also protecting ourselves. Right? So P also stands for protection. Yeah? It's just like the 5 precepts protects us. Right? Okay? Okay, the next one, abandon. This one is my favorite. I tell you why it's my favorite. Because I find that, in life, as we go about daily life, there's always a lot of opportunity for defilements to happen, to come to us. Okay, and I'm first one to admit that, although I've tried to practice, I'm still, full of nonsense. There's still a lot of defilements in me. All right, and I know for a fact, I'm very practical about it. I know this will happen, but I know that I have a tool. The tool is to abandon. Okay, just this Friday, I was actually trying to, in the morning, I tried to open up my laptop. I thought I tidy up my slides, and then I'll send it off to BF for this morning's talk. And my laptop went dead Friday morning. I was like, and it's a relatively new laptop, so I did not actually back it up in my external drive. So this is a curveball, and among many curveballs that life can throw to us. So I took, because I've been preparing the slides, so over the last few days, some of this concept actually helps me. And then I said, okay, I'm going to practice. Okay, so I panicked maybe for 2 seconds, and then I blame myself for not backing it up 2 seconds. All right. I blame the laptop. So new, how can this happen? 2 seconds. Okay, enough. Okay, abandon. I focus on what can I do now? What is the best action to take now? Okay, so I won't bore you with the details of what happened after that. But that was a very good, learning moment for me. Okay, so don't expect that we start practicing and then, everything we can prevent. Yeah? Very unlikely. There will be things that will come our way. There will be defilement, negative thoughts, unproductive thoughts that will come our way. But the important thing is to not let it linger. You're angry. You're frustrated. You're irritated by this person. You're stressed, okay? Recognize it, and then you say, okay, what should I focus on now to be productive for my mental state? Okay? So aim to shorten this negative mindset or negative action or negative speech. The aim is to shorten it, okay? All right? Very practical. It's very useful for me, so that's why I really want to share with all of you here. Yeah, okay, abandon. Now, the other part about abandon, the other point about abandon is habits. Do we have habits that deters us from our practice? Yeah, I see many of us nodding our head. Huh? So one of the habits that I think deters me is, whenever I don't have something to attend to, I will go and reach out to my handphone. Yeah? So I don't allow myself to have time to just be quiet. I need to play with something, read something, and swipe, even no messages on the handphone, I'll go to social media, Facebook, and see what's on. Okay? Okay, I know it is very common for all of us, but I think being a practitioners, Buddhist practitioners, let's try to at least cut down that. All right? Okay, so I do give myself certain timeline for reading my phone. all right? And I don't allow myself to go to use the phone wherever I want. Okay? So do, give yourself some restriction. It may feel very kankor, kankor. Feel very difficult for a start, but it helps. It helps, okay? Because if we do not abandon that, it leads to a lot of proliferation, okay? Just one example that I shared. Actually, last year with a youth group also, I shared the same example. I like cafe latte a lot. And I liked it a little bit for me, with a lot of bubbles, some bubbles. It tastes really nice. So I thought, okay, let me go and get a frother, all right? Something that can foam up the cafe latte. Okay, so of course, then I went to internet to search what are the options, all right? So I was actually thinking of having a handheld one, it can foam it out a little bit with my coffee. And then, of course, options come out. Wow, this one looks very nice, yeah? And then also very convenient because you just pour in, you don't have to, use your hand to do it, right? And then another option came out. So, wow, this one looks so cool, white color, goes very well with my kitchen, Wow, if I have this, my friends come, wow, looks damn good, It really brightens up the kitchen. Wow, then my whole focus is just on the former. The rest of the kitchen becomes the background. Okay, and then it just went on and on. This one, wow, lagi nice, So see the danger of our mind proliferating, yeah? From a very simple tool to just, all I want is a very warm, maybe nice foamy milk, foamy coffee. And then it ends up with, how do I get a gadget that's got aesthetic, feel to it, addition to the kitchen, right? So the proliferation is quite dangerous, I think. So be careful, all right? Don't get me wrong. I think it's perfectly okay if you even decide to buy a very nice frother. It's perfectly okay. But what is dangerous is that mental process. If we keep getting into this repeated loops and rounds of proliferation, then, it's very hard to recollect when we try to steal the mind. Yeah? Okay, so we're finished with the unwholesome state. Now, how about wholesome states of the mind? How about wholesome thoughts, wholesome speech and action? Okay, how can we cultivate that? Right? One technique or one method of practice that I can share is that we introduce some pauses in our life. Some of us who have attended Ajahn Brahmali's talk, sutta sharing, you notice he always say, okay, let's take 5 minutes. Yes? Yeah, then we just put away everything, and then we just keep quiet for 5 minutes and bring ourselves back. Let our mind settle. Right? So actually, I sort of took the idea, inspired by him, took his idea and incorporated it into my life. And I set my handphone, I put it into good use this time, all right? I put the apps and gave me a reminder 3 times a day. Once I get the reminder, I will put down what I'm doing and just sit quietly for 3 minutes. Okay? So what do we do when we sit quietly for 3 minutes? 3 minutes is very hard to settle the mind, too short. One technique that I find very useful is to quickly focus on one part of the body that usually is very tense. So for example, you find that your shoulders are usually very tense. For that 3 minutes, the moment you close your eyes, or if it's convenient, if it's not convenient, you don't have to close your eyes, but you just look inwards and just focus on the shoulders and say, okay, relax, 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 relax. 3 minutes. Very fast, 3 minutes will pass. And you find that after 3 minutes, we are actually at a better state of our life, a better mental state. Okay, try. This is basically to introduce some pause. Because when we still means we want to stop, right? But our life just keep going on and on and on and on with so many things and flood us with so many things. When we pause, actually we are just cutting that momentum off for a short while and allow ourselves to recollect. Okay? All right? So introduce pauses into your life. But please set your timer to a time that is conducive. Okay? So you don't set a time, 6:30 p.m. you're eating your dinner. Most of the time you're eating your dinner. At that time, it's very hard to pause. All right? Set a time that you think most of the time you're not doing anything. And if you're driving or you're operating a machine at that point, please don't pause. Okay? Only when it's safe and it's conducive to pause. Right? The other aspect that we can try to introduce some changes to our life is to leverage on daily chores. So if you wash your plates, your dishes, you do your dishes. Anyone here have plants? You water your plants? Yeah? You make your bed, you take a short walk, or, sweeping the floor. Okay, I think most people don't sweep the floor nowadays. Use iRobot, right? Okay. Or you're just doing a certain hobby, maybe arranging flowers or something. Now, these are very active moments. And yet, these active moments, we can introduce some form of stillness into our mental state. Okay? During the time that you are doing the activity, while you are doing it, you can turn inward and say, okay, I'm not going to drop everything outside. I'm just going to look inward. All right? Personally, I would use the time when I'm waiting for the lift. So in the morning, because I go to the office very early, all right? By the time I reach the lift, unlikely I will bump into any colleagues. So from the time I press the lift and wait for lift to open the door and bring me up to the office, that is the time that I tell myself, I'm not going to think about anything. No thoughts. I try lah. Sometimes the thoughts still come. I can't help it, but I try. Okay? It's very short. It's only about 2 minutes or so. Right? But it helps. Okay? The other suggestion that I have for you is when you drink your first cup of water in the morning. Do we all drink water in the morning? First thing after brushing our teeth? Yeah? Make it a point. All right? How long does it take for you to drink a glass of water? 30 seconds? Yeah. Can you don't think about anything? Just focus on that glass of water for the 30 seconds. Possible? One of my students did this, and then she told me, actually, I find that the glass of water very tasty. Yeah, okay? The favorite 2 words when we talk about practice as lay people, you know what the 2 words are? No time. Correct? No time, I'm very busy. No time, yeah? Okay? But practices like this, when we use our daily chores to help us practice, it doesn't require time. It only requires a little bit of attention, a little bit of will. All right? Intentionally put it into your life. Okay? Okay, be creative with what chores you want to choose, all right? Choose something that is convenient for you, works for you, okay? And try to do the same thing. Let's say you choose to brush your teeth. Yeah? Be mindful when you brush your teeth. Do it every day. Do the same task every day over a period of time, maybe 2 weeks. maybe 1 month, right? So don't change. Monday you brush teeth, Tuesday drink water, Wednesday wait for the leave, Don't change. Do the same task every day over a period of time. And then you decide whether you want to continue or you want to change. Okay? All right? So be creative on that. You can decide what you want to do. The other suggestion I have for you is have a mantra. Okay? Now, this mantra can be a mantra that you want, depending on the situation. So if you know that you often run into certain situation, create a mantra for yourself for that situation. Okay? I don't take hot weather very well. I don't know why I'm born in Singapore. Okay? And especially for the last 2 months or so, the weather has been quite trying, right? And I've been borrowing Ajahn Brahm's mantra for that. This is good enough. Okay? Days when I feel, oh, it's so hot, then I tell myself, this is good enough. Okay, it helps. It helps. And I think what the mantra do is really, it sort of creates a space between you and, the thing that you find adverse to, in this case, the hot weather. All right, the mantra sort of create that space, and it doesn't feel so bad because it doesn't stick on you. All right, when there's no space, it sticks on you. Okay. I used to have a colleague who I find very difficult to get along. In fact, at one stage, she was sort of attacking me, right? And, I have to deal with it. I have to deal with it. And I try to learn how to deal with it. And one of the things that I do is I tell myself, maybe she's sent by the Buddha to test me. Okay? So every time when I see her and then she's trying to get difficult and, then my mantra will come out. Teacher sent by the Buddha. Okay? And every time teacher sent by the Buddha. Okay? And that's my mantra for that situation. Not easy. I don't recall the mantra every time. Sometimes I don't recall and then, I get overwhelmed by the emotions or feelings, right? But try. It may help. Okay? The other way of using a mantra is to use it for a certain part of your day. Okay? Now, I personally practice this mantra. This is in Chinese, so, but what it means is that, the day is over, okay, and I have 1 day less in my life. So what's the happiness that I'm after, right? So practice diligently, have a sense of urgency, bucket list, right? And bear in mind, the impermanence of life. Do not indulge, do not be sloppy, right? This is a Chinese verse from Mahayana Sutta. I recite it every night. After I've done my, bowing to the Buddha, and repentance for the day, I will recite it. Now, I think it helps to set a tone for me, okay, to remember that, life is actually pretty impermanent. Anything can happen, right? That I should not be sloppy, I should not be lazy, I should try very hard, okay? If it helps you, maybe you can do it in the morning, all right? Find a verse that you like. And there are many verses, right? By Ajahn Brahm, in the suttas, there are many verses. Find a verse that inspires you, all right? And maybe just recite it, mentally in your mind for the morning. So, for example, you can wake up in the morning and say, oh, I have 24 hours in front of me. I have a new day. I'm going to be diligent. I'm going to try to be mindful today, for example. So it sets a tone for the day, right? So having a mantra for a certain time of the day, that may help. Now, we've just gone through a few techniques, the first one is to cultivate, leverage on the daily chores, right? Have a mantra, or introduce pauses in your life, right? Introduce pauses, leverage on your daily chores, or have a mantra. And the whole idea of putting all these techniques, all right, is to create pockets of mindfulness until it forms a continuity. So when we start, in our mind, and we start to introduce some of this, it begins to have pockets. So imagine these green dots, right, are the pockets of mindfulness that sort of chop off, the momentum of complex thoughts and complex processes in our mind, right? Then we start to do it more. It becomes more, it becomes stronger, okay? When you introduce it more and longer in the day, right, it becomes just stronger and stronger until our mindfulness becomes continuous. So that is the idea. Sometimes, some brothers and sisters say, yeah, bolasa wana, you do 2-3 minutes of mindfulness, it doesn't help. Yeah, it may not help a lot, but if you do a lot of it continuously, it helps. Okay? The whole idea is just do a little, doses of it until it forms a line. Create dots until it forms a line. Okay? It's important because we have to try to learn to grow the qualities that is conducive to us for our spiritual practice. Right? We all have defilements, we all have negative emotions, we all have. But it's okay, we can cultivate the good qualities. That's the good news. All right? Now, the last one, which is to keep it up. Well, we always tell kids, right, when they do well in school, they say, hey, keep it up, right? It's the same for us. At some point, as we continue to practice, we will find that we get better and better and better. You will, all right? Trust me, you will. Okay? Now, the thing is this. Sometimes all these changes within us, people may not observe because it's very internal changes, all right? We have to give ourselves the encouragement. When we feel the joy, the lightness, when we feel that we have improved, give yourself a pat on the shoulder. Or go and reward yourself. Buy a nice coffee for yourself, buy a nice meal for yourself, reward yourself. Tell yourself, hey, well done. Right? So that you get encouraged and you do better next time. Suggestion for all of us, reflect and review always, all right? Periodically do a review on your practice, okay? As a cliche as it may sound, all right, it's like, what's my new resolution for the year? Right? So give yourself a certain period, let's say 3 months. You say, I'll practice. Then I'll review at the end of 3 months. Then practice at the end of 3 months. Sit down for an hour and ask yourself, how well have you done for the last 3 months? It may sound a bit cliche, I know, all right? But it really helps. Personally, I do it every 6 months. Yeah. I will set some homework for myself. I'll set some practice for myself for the 6 months. And every 6 months, I will actually do a review. Okay? Because this is my bucket list. Okay, I'm going to share a short video with you. All right? And maybe you can take note and tell me after the video if you will, to share what you have observed. Sorry, I forgot my mic. What word comes to your mind as you watch this? Anyone? Sorry? Habit. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Notice this lady. She used the 2 knitting needle, right? And when she has nothing to knit, she is still that 2 needle is still. She is still trying to knit something. All right. And after finally she gave up, right? She threw the needle away. And what? She takes the scissors and then. I really like the sound of it. You look right and left, what can I cut? Yeah. So it's a certain momentum of our habitual energy. And we all have that. And it's quite scary, actually, sometimes how these habits forms and then it's so difficult to get rid of. Yeah, I have a habit of swiping my handphone before I sleep. And actually, it's a very bad habit. So kids here don't learn very bad habits. Yeah, it took me so long to get rid of the habit. Yeah, our habitual, energy is so strong, right? And Ajahn Brahmali used to say, that our momentum is like a super tanker, right? So for us to change the habit, for us to introduce something to move that super tanker, it takes a lot of determination, a lot of will, all right? And also the most important is that we have to keep at it. Okay, all right? So small habits, but keep at it, okay? You will find some obstacles along your way, I'm sure, right? Actually, it's nice to, not say nice, but it's good to identify what your obstacles are. Sometimes just overcoming the obstacle, it can become a very good practice for us. Okay? All right? So very quickly recap what we've discussed today. As lay people, we have our struggles because of a complex world and so much temptation around us. But we have to set, on the spiritual progress. Right? We have to have the will and determination and understand why it's important. Right? Put it in our bucket list if you want. I think I strongly encourage that. And as we practice, we follow the Noble Eightfold Path. It's a path to Bodhi. It's a path to enlightenment, right? And under the Eightfold Path, one of the factors is right effort. So the Fourfold right efforts, which includes, preventing and abandoning unwholesome action, speech, and state of mind or thoughts. And also at the same time, cultivating wholesome thoughts, speech, and mind, and then keep it up when we have, improved. Okay? And some of the cultivation that I've suggested during the sharing is introduce pauses, leverage on daily chores, or, have a mantra that we always recall. Okay? And all this helps to create pockets of mindfulness for us. Okay? That eventually, hopefully, forms a continuity in our life. Yeah? There will be obstacles, all right, and one of which is our habitual energy. And that's something that we need to learn to overcome, recognize and overcome. So I like this picture a lot, onward with bravery, all right. To practice, it needs a lot of bravery, okay? It's not for the faint-hearted, that's for sure. So I always say Buddhists are very, very brave people, okay? Not only bravery, we need a lot of patience, okay? I can guarantee you we will somewhat fail at some point, okay? It doesn't matter. We will fail to do it, review why. Maybe we didn't choose the right time, right method, and then do it again. set a new set of goals, do it again. Fail again, adjust, do it again. Fail again, adjust, do it again. Okay? It's okay to fail. Just don't give up. Okay? All right? So, once a lay disciple asked Ajahn Chah, I have no time for practice, Ajahn Chah. No time, right? Our favorite word. No time. So Ajahn Chah said, do you have time to breathe? And, the lay disciple said, yes. He said, yeah, if you have time to breathe, you have time to practice. I'm sure you heard this before. So make practice part of our life, okay? Weave it into our daily life. Don't make it difficult. Make it easy, possible for us to do it. All right? Keep at it. Make small changes. Don't boil the ocean. There's, you're just setting ourselves up for failure, right? So do small changes, but keep at it. Try. All right? So with this, I'd like to really encourage every one of us here. Okay, tomorrow is 1st of July, the start of the second half of 2024, right? Tonight, go home, write down your resolution for next half of the year. Maybe introduce one change. Okay, all right? Any questions or any comments?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah, so brothers and sisters, so that was a very interesting topic today, and also a very fun way to introduce back the practice for our daily life. Yeah, because I think this is very close to our heart, because I'm also one of the person who always say no time. But Sister have been giving, Sister Rachel have been giving a lot of tips, and also actually toolbox for us to navigate on our busy life. And next time when we see Sister Rachel, please feedback to her, say how you have used her tools or advice. Yeah. Then for now, any questions for Sister Rachel? Yeah.
Thank you for the very encouraging talk. Yeah. My practice has been dwindling, and time to set a new goal. And just want to ask, when you say like identify your obstacles, right? Because there's like external obstacles, internal obstacles. Sometimes they reinforce each other. Do you have any tips?
I think first of all, and probably the most difficult part of it, is to recognize what your obstacles are. Yeah. Sometimes we don't even recognize our own obstacles. Okay. And once you recognize the obstacle, find a way that is comfortable for you to overcome it. So don't bite your teeth and try to, tahan through certain things, right? It's not encouraging, all right? And sometimes if it's an obstacle that is beyond our capability to change, then just leave it for the time being. Right? Find another way to do it. So make it practical, make it possible for us, and that we can do it with ease. So don't make it very hard for ourselves. I think that is probably a good start for everybody. And be creative, right? Be creative in your ways. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thanks, Rachel. Just now you mentioned about like eventually, I think you mentioned one point where nightlife is not actually very conducive for our spiritual practice. But because now we're at an age where we are heading into retirement, we're developing hobbies and we're making new friends. More friends the better, because your children are big and things like that. You want to have a second life, so to speak. So there's something maybe more innocent than nightlife, like going karaoke. Singing. So basically these are, in a way, like so sensual pleasures. Yeah. You go and sing. But after that, after a session, you find that actually the song's still playing in your mind, you can't settle, and then it's really bad. So I think it's like, if you're really intent on like your spiritual progression before you die, I mean, does it mean that you have to give up some of these quite innocent kind of hobbies, which you really enjoy, and also your non-spiritual friends also enjoy? You know, yeah, just your comments.
Okay, all right. Yes, all right. Even don't go to karaoke. Sometimes you listen to the radio, right? A song that you like. Wow. Then after that, it keep playing in your mind when you meditate. It happens to all of us. Yeah. One of the way that I find useful is to do a little bit of practice, maybe 10 minutes before I sleep. All right. Either a relaxation. All right. For myself, I will do repentance. Okay. I find that, don't let all this energy, whatever is in the past is in the past, but at least for now, don't let any energy gather its strength. So try to, diffuse it, try to let go of it, try to loosen its strength on us by doing, some practice every night. Because when we do it, this sort of, we get it out of our system every night. So you don't keep letting it, accumulate in our mind. So every night, if we do a little bit, we find that actually it diffuses for the day. Discharge it, if you may, right? Discharge that it's innocent, it's nothing, it's not anything unwholesome, but, just discharge it so that it doesn't keep, in our mental, our mental state. Personally, that's what I do. I hope it helps. Yeah.
Okay, brother and sister, any more questions for Sister Rachel? Or you want any more tips from her? Any tactics so that you can practice more? Yeah. If not with that, I think we'll close for today. Once again, let us say 3 sadhu for Sister Rachel. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. So maybe let us, so with all the merits that we've done today, today we make a very good effort to brave the rain and come here. So with all the good merits we've done, we would like to dedicate merits. So the lady on the screen is actually my cousin. She's currently in palliative care because of stage 4 cancer. So may we wish Miss 𝐶u-hui-ling to be peaceful, at ease, and free from suffering. So maybe give 30 seconds of silence, and we give our metta to Miss 𝐶u-hui-ling. Okay, now let us dedicate merits to all celestial beings. Akasata ca Bhummata Devanaga Mahidika Punyang Tham Anumoditva Chiram Rakantu Loka Sasanang Akasata ca Bhummata Devanaga Mahidika Punyang Tham Anumoditva Chirang Rakantu Dhammam Sasanam Akasata ca Bhummata Devanaga Mahidika Punyang Tham Anumoditva Chiram Rakantu Mam Parang. Dedication of merits. Let us invite all sentient beings to participate in our acquired merits. Etawata ca amhehi sampatam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya. Etawata ca amhehi sampatam punya sampadam sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya. etawata cha amhehi sampatam punya sampadam sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sabbati siddhya. Dedication of merits. Let us dedicate the merits of participating in a wholesome Dhamma activity to our departed relatives and friends. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. End of service dedication.